So, Spartan fans, this is Huddle to Hardwood. We're home for Michigan State basketball. My name's Jacob.
My name is Holden, and today we'll be breaking down Tuesday's game against UCLA, where the final score was Michigan State 82, UCLA 59.
Yeah, so to dig a little deeper into like the box score, UCLA's leading scorer was Tyler Bilodeau. He scored 22 points. He shot 8 for 16 from the field. Not too bad. 3 for 5 from the 3-point line. And our lovely Xavier Booker, he had a whopping 2 points. Um, and then moving on to Michigan State. We had four guys in double figures. Jordan Scott had 11. Cohen, Cohen had 16. Jeremy had 16. Carson had 12. The most efficient was Jordan Scott. He shot 4 for 5 from the field, 3 for 3 from the 3-point line. Jackson Kohler was right there. He had 9 points. Efficient day. He was 1 point off of a double double. Then off the bench, our leading scorer was Kurt Tang, who had 9 points. He shot 3 for 7 from the field and 3 for 5 from the 3-point line. So Holden, what are your takeaways of the game?
Yeah, I think it was a very important game just coming off of, our rough struggles that we've been having as of recent. Coming into this game, losing three of our last four with that one random, win in between against Illinois. That was a great game, but other than that game, we've been really struggling this month. So I thought it was a really important get back game, get that confidence back. I thought it was really important that Michigan State finally got off to a hot start today or Tuesday, excuse me. Just because, like I said, we were struggling for the last month. Typically, no matter who we were playing against, we were getting down to a very fast double-digit deficit, and digging yourself that hole off the bat is always asking for bad things to happen. So I think it was really important getting off to that hot start. We saw a lot of guys improve from what they have been doing this past month. Fears found his shot this past game. He was really looking good with his shot. Shot 4 for 8 from the 3-point line, most threes we've ever seen him make.
It's
Shot
pretty
looked
high.
pure. I mean, because just looking at his last couple of games, I kind of wrote down in my notes like Wisconsin, he shot 3 of 12. Game before that, he was 4 for 11 and 7 of 19. And typically, you see him getting a lot of his points from the free throw line, but he didn't have to really rely on the free throw line today. I think he only shot like maybe 4 free throws total, and the rest were just straight volume shooting. So think it was a great game out of him. Obviously, his assist numbers will always be up there. Um, Still looking to get a little bit more out of Jackson Kohler. I miss what he was doing earlier in the season. He was what made our team, I think, the most dynamic. Having him put up like 18 to 20 points a night with giving his rebounds and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully I mean, he got off to a good start this game and he kind of fizzled out late, but I'd like to see to get him going. An emergence of Jordan Scott in the starting lineup has been really huge for us. I really like that so far. Um, I think he's scored double figures every single game that he started. I can't remember if he started in the Illinois game or not, but I don't know if this is his first win as a starter or not. But anyways, he was that much needed
Yeah, it
too that
was
we
his first win as a
okay.
starter.
Yeah. But he was a much needed change into the starting lineup after unfortunately losing Divine Ukachukwu. But I mean, we've wanted him to start for a while now. Just
Yeah.
he's all over the place, rebounding, defense. His shot has come along since Big Ten play started. And then other than that, uh, we've seen a lot out of even with our losses. The guy that's been remaining constant in his scoring and aggressiveness has been Cohen. He had another great game today along with Fears, who was shooting the ball very well. Cohen had another two threes, had a couple of good pull ups, and then obviously he's going to have his little donkey dunks in there. But Cohen's been really consistent and very aggressive. But overall, like I said, I think it was a great get back game for us. Hopefully, we can continue that confidence into our stretch coming up here. But what are your overall thoughts on the game, Jake?
Yeah, well, first to back off of some of the stuff you said, like Jeremy Fears only went to the free throw line twice all game, so it was nice to see him not try to get those fouls called for him all game. And then Jackson, he started off really hot. He had 7 points in the first, what, 6 minutes of the game. Like he started off really hot, and one thing I don't really understand about him is that he just stopped shooting. I don't know if it's a confidence issue or what's going on with him, but I would like to see him shoot the ball more, especially when he has such a hot start like that. And I mean, it does make it difficult when everyone's getting the rock, but I mean, he was the hot hand in the beginning. But some of my takeaways, it was nice to see us come out with energy. We haven't had energy in the past couple games, and ever since I want to say the Michigan game, we just come out flat. It's not Michigan State basketball that I know and love, and it was just really frustrating to see. And we always play tough and out rebound, and it was nice to see us get back to those roots this game because I believe, let's see what yeah, they had 27 total rebounds and we had 37. So we out rebounded them by 10. And that's our MO. We'll never win games if we can't out rebound the other team and just be tougher than them. I don't know if it's like with the other games, it's a scared thing, if they're scared. I mean, I don't really want to say that or admit it out loud as a state fan, but it's kind of just what I see. But it was nice to see us kind of get back to our roots. And Jordan Scott, he's been taking a massive step up, especially when we've had problems with creating shots for ourselves. He's been consistent in his four starts. I believe in all four starts, he's had double figures. Yeah, I mean, his last 5 games, he's had 10, 15, 10, 11, 11. He's been super consistent. And yeah, so those are kind of like the main takeaways that I had. What are your positives for the game?
Yeah, some of my positives, I touched a little bit on it already, but one thing I didn't touch on was just the teams. I guess I touched on it with Cohen and Jeremy, but just the overall shooting this game was through the roof. I remember hearing that when we hit 14 threes this game, which is the most we've hit by far this season, and the most that we've hit since 2023 season. So the 3-point shot was finally falling today, and I think maybe that's just some overdue stuff from the last couple of games where it felt like we couldn't hit anything. So I think that was huge. We were able to get open shots and knock them down at a very high rate. Like I think we were shooting 14 to 27, 52% from three and 53% from the field. So shooting incredibly efficient just all over the floor tonight. Other stuff I noticed that was better this game than it has been all season, honestly, was just the overall ball movement of everybody. I think our half court offense looked a lot better this game. Ball was flying around, lots of great passes, obviously by Jeremy Fears, but remember looking back at the game, there was multiple points where it was just making that extra pass, just finding the open man, and the ball movement was incredible. I think this game, when sometimes our half court offense can get a little bit clunky if the confidence isn't there, we're not hitting shots. I feel like people just tend to stand around and just rely on Jeremy Fierce to do a lot. But I feel like a lot of people were assertive this game in creating their own shot and then creating shots for others. So I thought that was really important in this game. And then I think our overall team defense came back to play today. Like you kind of touched on, our defensive and rebounding mentality, I think, was back today. This is the 10th time this season that we've held an opponent under 60 points. And the Big Ten, that's a huge accomplishment just because it's one of the top conferences in the league this year. And we've held teams under 70 like Duke and Arkansas
Well,
and
yeah,
Kentucky.
and UCLA like isn't a bad team either. Like, I mean, made them look bad, but they're 17-9 overall and 9-6 in the Big Ten. They're not necessarily bad by any means, but I mean, it's nice to see that our defense can come alive like that still.
And I really like the constant aggressiveness that Cohen's been showing as of recent. When we're struggling, he seems to be developing this new mindset where like if the team's not playing too well, like I'm just gonna put my head down, I'm gonna get to the rim, and I'm gonna be aggressive. I think he's been also doing a lot better as of recent. I don't think this game it really shows, but I think he's been doing a really good job at going for rebounds because
Yeah.
he only had three this game. I know in the past couple he's had like five, six, seven, eight rebound games. Like I think it's really important that he's asserting himself when the team needs him. He's been really consistent lately.
Yeah, well, and
Um,
then about Cohen too, one thing that's been really frustrating watching him like over the past year and what's been really nice to see the past couple games is like I feel like he's starting to understand a little better that he can just get a bucket whenever he wants. I mean, dude's so much physically stronger than everyone and he can jump higher than anyone. He just all he has to do is just put his shoulder into him and go up. He is a lot stronger, and there's been times where we've seen him take over, and I just want to see him do that more because, like I said, he can get a bucket whenever he wants, and he could easily be 12, 13, 14 points per game easily. But
and along with his athleticism too, like I said, there's no reason why he shouldn't be getting 6 to 8 rebounds a game either. Like you said, he can jump higher than anyone else, and he's like one of the most athletically gifted players I've ever seen, just
oh yeah,
strictly from athletic standpoint, running, jumping, just he's strong. Like I think he's been making it a point to be more aggressive, and I think that's
yeah,
going to help this team in the long run when we get closer to March here. But
yeah, and that elbow middy's been pretty good lately.
spot, yep, it's a spot. But yeah, any more specific MSU positives that you want to touch on, or do you want to
I
get?
mean, defensively, I was pretty happy with how he held Donovan Dent. He only had 6 points. He shot 3 for 11, 0 for 3 from three. I was pretty happy with how we guarded him. Um, and like kind of like I touched on earlier, this is kind of like a positive and negative. Like Jackson, he started out super hot, and I would just like to see him keep shooting. And it was nice to see Jackson get back to the post game because the past like 5, 6, 7 games, all he's been doing is sitting on the 3 point line the whole time. And like the reason why he was able to score so much and be so important to us as a team in the beginning is because he got his post play going early. And then after he got his post play going, he could go to the 3 point line and it opened up his 3 point shot. And lately he's been getting away from the post game and just sitting at the three, and it really crams their offense. Because I know a lot of people put a lot of pressure on Jeremy for um, running the offense, and we can't do anything without him, and yada yada yada. But at the same time, it doesn't help if our bigs aren't helping us space. So like, and it's causing a lot of spacing issues with us when he just sits on 3 point line. So it was nice to see him get in the post and make some really nice post moves today, which opened up our offense a ton, as you saw. I thought the ball movement was really strong. And I mean, in the past couple of games that we've lost, like the ball movement's been really terrible. So it was nice to see us actually moving the ball around. Um, and yeah, so that's pretty much all I have for the positives. Do you have any like negatives for the game?
Yeah, so I didn't I didn't have too many negatives, obviously, because it was we were up by 30 most of the game. It ended up coming back down to the meat a little bit, won by 23. So I don't have too many negative takeaways, but there were just one pretty big spot that I want to touch on is just the fact that we saw we didn't have a whole lot of turnovers, but a lot of our turnovers came from the bigs, Carson Cooper and Jackson Kohler. I think a lot of that just comes from their our bigs are very prone to when they get the ball in the post. The teams just always Jackson Kohler in specific, they always just they collapse and they trap him just almost immediately. I feel like when that happens, he doesn't. I think he just gets a little bit too scared. I don't know if that's the right word, but he's just kind of all over the place. Put the ball down, put his head down, and then once people they collapse on him, he just loses the ball. So there's a lot of turnovers like that where he put the ball down, they swipe at it, lost the ball. Happened a lot with Carson Cooper. Um,
To add on to that, because I had that written down too, but I also think with when our bigs get double teams, I think our guards need to help them out as well. Because one thing I notice is when they get trapped in a double team, our guards just stand still and then they'll just kind of like creep backwards, hoping for the bigs to be able to just toss it over the defender's head and reset the offense, but they just don't move. There was a one point in the game where Cohen flashed to the free throw line and he was able to make a play out of it. And I just want to see our players do that more because, yes, as our bigs need to protect the ball better, our guards also have to do a better job at opening themselves up to give our bigs an opportunity.
Yeah. And I think something that we could be that could be fixing that issue with the turnovers in the post. I just think we need to work on getting them better position in general. I feel like there's too many times when we give them when we give our bigs touches, it's like most of the time it's way too far out from the paint, and so it's forcing them to get the ball back down all the way, and that gives the defense time to trap and close on them to cause those turnovers. We need to do something where we're you know maybe putting more on one side and kind of clearing out and giving more space for them to kind of go 1v1 or give them the bigs need to do a better job of getting low and then receiving the ball in a good position rather than get it out here and then try to work their way in. Also, with the whole, we didn't have a lot of turnovers this way, but I just hate the whole give the ball to Carson Cooper on the wing and strand him and let this little handoff. I've always hated that. I feel like we got to cut that
Yeah.
out. It makes Carson Cooper into a ball handler where we don't want to see that. So
Yeah.
um, that's really all I had for the negatives from this game. Obviously, so overall we played really well. Is there anything negatively that we didn't touch on that you might have noticed or
Yeah, so one thing that I've noticed in this game, and it's been a problem all season, is our screen defense, specifically with Jackson and Jordan. I feel like they always struggle to either hedge or get over the screen. I noticed Jordan, he went under the screen a lot and he kept getting stuck in the screen and he wasn't able to get out of it easily. And Jackson, he'll hedge, but he has a tough time getting back. And then he ends up getting beat a lot on the back door because he's not paying attention. So I would really like to see Jordan Jackson work on their screen defense better. And especially when they're in it together. Like there was a possession in the game where Jackson's guys had a pick on Jordan and they ended up getting a three out of it because Jackson hedged like he was supposed to, but Jordan was too slow to get through the screen and it resulted in a bucket. So I would like to see um, the screen defense get a little better. Jeremy, Coop, and Cohen, I feel like at times they play really out of control. And when I mean out of control, I feel like they're playing too fast. Um, like you'll see Jeremy a couple times where he'll just be running and he'll just have a stupid turnover, and Cohen will trip over his own feet, and Carson's can be a little grumpy sometimes. But I mean, I would like to see them slow the ball down a little bit more and get control over their body. Um, and yeah, so that's kind of the negatives I had. We got about 3 minutes left. So other things I want to touch on. I thought it was really interesting what Mick Cronin did. I thought the foul was like I thought it was a little dirty, but it wasn't anything crazy. And for him to kick his own guy at the locker or out of the gym, insane. I just don't see a world where he has a job anymore at the end of the season because how do you ever get the locker room back? He's absolutely lost the locker room. If I was a player, there's no way in hell that I'd want to play for a guy that doesn't stick up for his own and is just so willing to like the rest didn't even make a review of the call yet. Like I understand the
yeah.
circumstances, like if that was a foul and it's like a 2 point game, like I wouldn't consider it that dirty, but it was the fact that we were up by 27 when it happened. Like, yes, I guess people could say he was going for the ball, but there's really no point for going to the ball. You're just causing for injuries at that point of the game. So I just yeah. And to move on from that, another thing I would like to see, especially when we're up by so much, is I would like to see Cam try new things when we're up a lot. Like because he gets those like garbage minutes and I would like to see him try new things instead of just posting up and setting screens. Like I like to see him potentially take people off the dribble. I would like to see him shoot the ball. Like I know he's not a great shooter, but that's the time to practice is when we're up by so much. So I would just like to see him try new things, especially when it's in a point of the game where it doesn't matter. But yeah, those are my final thoughts. Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I thought the Mick Cronin thing was incredibly entertaining. I was not expecting that whatsoever. I've never seen anything like that. Someone just taking their own player out of the game just almost immediately. There's a part of me that felt like he was um, a little overdoing it just because he was playing against Tom Izzo and how like before the game he was just like praising Tom Izzo and how holding him to this high standard. And I feel like he's like, oh, I can't let my players be doing that. I can't allow that. I gotta show Izzo that, I have like no acceptance of that and all this kind of stuff. But he's had so many issues in the past of him just tearing down his team and just saying throwing his teammate or his players under the bus. And I agree with what you're saying. Like after this season, especially if they miss the tournament, I don't see him having a job. Like the locker room's gone. Like all this stuff blowing up. Like I don't see any future players wanting to come play for him. So like
Yeah, be a lot of
he's
recruiting
just
issues too.
yeah. So I agree with that. I think it was incredibly entertaining, unexpected. All the stuff that's come out after the fact with the reporter asking the question was just hilarious. He's
Yeah.
acting like a little kid, but um, and then it is
Well,
unfortunate that Booker had kind of a no-show. I wanted him to do at least
yeah.
something, but it was good to see the fans treat him well and not like boo him out of the place. But
All right. Well,
overall, I mean,
thank you guys for watching. We will be back with another video tomorrow. So stay tuned and go green.
go green.